Brought to you by Lister Pros TV, streaming from Tempe, Arizona. And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, Jordan Nielsen here, host of Real Estate Pros on Lister Pros TV, and today we're in our studio in Tempe, Arizona with Jay Schlum, agent at RE/MAX Sun Properties in Fountain Hills. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day.
Good, Jordan.
To join me on Real Estate Pros.
Nice to meet you.
So for that, man, I just found out a lot about you, prior mayor. You got a big background, so we'll give you a couple minutes to introduce yourself. What interested you in the real estate business? You've been in the business for a while, and we'll kind of go from there.
Sure.
Just a quick intro.
Thank you. First, second generation real estate agent, broker. My dad in 1977 in Fountain Hills moved us out from Detroit when I was 12. Made sure I always had the biggest, best dirt bike so I could beat up all my buddies out in the terraced lands of Fountain Hills when I could just start my motorcycle in the garage and take off and have a blast. So it was a great place to grow up. So moved to Fountain Hills in 1977 from Detroit. My mom, dad, of course, they moved us out there with my younger sister who's on my team, the Arizona Living team at RE/MAX in Fountain Hills, Jackie Underwood, and my younger brother Kip, who is works at Luke Air Force Base. He's in the Air Force. So we moved out to Fountain Hills when it was maybe 1,200, 1,500 people, and just really loved it ever since. I went to a classroom in 7th grade where we were paired up with 8th graders at a local school there in Fountain Hills. Only went through 8th grade, and then we got bussed over to Mesa, and then the floods of 1980-81 occurred, which you were not born yet, Jordan, but trust me.
I was born almost 82.
Okay.
Come on now. Not that young. No.
You'll find this hard to believe. The only bridge open was Mill Avenue. Everything else was washed out because of the flood.
Really?
And then I-10. So it took us over 3 hours to get to school in Mesa, being bused from Fountain Hills. So fortunately, the next year they switched us over to Scottsdale schools, and I graduated from Coronado High School. So pretty much grew up here. You know, not a lot of folks have been here longer than that, and just love it still. And the background, my dad, as I mentioned, mom, we're both real estate agents in Fountain Hills, owned Dawn Realty, named after my mother. And I owe a lot to real estate, and my dad's always been involved in the community, so I kind of followed suit in that respect as well.
Sure.
So that's a little background. Been licensed since '92. Actually started in Minnesota, where my wife tricked me into going. And we got out of there 5 years later together.
You guys went there in the summertime, right?
Probably, exactly.
Like, oh, this is nice.
It was beautiful. That's true. But fortunately, real estate brought me back to Arizona, brought us back to Arizona. She came with me, thankfully, and I've been back ever since. So licensed for a long time, but I've been involved in a lot of different things. But back full-time real estate as of 2012, although I did it part-time and then full-time prior to that.
So you've seen the Valley pretty much grow significantly since, you said 77 you came out here?
Yeah.
And especially Fountain Hills. You know, Fountain Hills is what did you say? How big was it? 1,200 people?
I would say 1,500 people in
What's the size of it now?
About 25,000.
25,000, wow.
Yeah, we'll probably top out at 35,000. And that's where most of my work is. I'd say 85% of our work in the Arizona Living team is Fountain Hills, which we're blessed to have that. And being involved in the community for so long, I think, getting referrals and taking good care of people is kind of our bottom line. So it's just been an awesome career, and the ability to make new friends and introduce people to the community is just awesome.
So you probably know the ins and outs of Fountain Hills. So are you... or do you primarily focus on Fountain Hills, or are you valley-wide? What kind of
we've sold properties in Peoria, Santan, and everywhere in between. But we really do focus on Fountain Hills. We'll go outside of Fountain Hills if we have a client that's a referral from another client, if that needs something elsewhere. But we really try to focus on Fountain Hills, and we really feel we're experts in that area. I've been on every lot probably on my dirt bike and then beyond in Fountain Hills. So we really do know a lot about Fountain Hills, and there is a lot to know that's unique of the Valley of the Sun. And
I like dirt biking as well. So there's a lot of like hills that are pretty steep in Fountain Hills, because we've shot some gorgeous homes on like sides of mountain. Did you just mob through that when you were younger?
Yeah, I was very gentle, knowing that I'm environmentally sensitive on my YZ465. You know, I'm sure
gosh.
I was very
How old were
sensitive to
you?
things. Probably 13 at that time. Yeah, could hardly hold the front end down.
I can only handle a 250 right now. But
we had a great time, and there were some great tracks.
That
out
is
there.
awesome, and I really love Fountain Hills as a because I've done a lot of like races where they end in like I'm at like an avid cyclist and stuff, and so a lot of biking through Fountain Hills. Gorgeous.
It's Fountain Hills for a reason. There are no flat areas in Fountain Hills, and that's one of the things that's unique, maybe comparable to Carefree, Cave Creek, parts of those areas. But other than that, the valley is pretty flat, and it's pretty much grid system. You don't find that in Fountain Hills. Yet we're so convenient. Took me 27 minutes to get here, into southern Tempe. It takes less than that much time to get to the airport. So although we're just over this hill on Shea Boulevard into Fountain Hills, where you come over this crest and you see the Verde River Valley, and Four Peaks, the Superstitions, Red Mountain, and all the mountains around it. It's just your blood pressure just comes down when you come home from work if you work in the valley. It's just beautiful,
and beautiful
so
views
convenient.
of Four Peaks and everything. Now, how long has Beeline been there? So you probably
Beeline's been there when we moved there, but it was one lane each direction with a little yellow stripe down the middle, so it wasn't the safest road. Now, obviously, there's a lot more to it. And Shea Boulevard, didn't hardly go through either, and most of the roads connecting to Shea in Fountain Hills didn't even exist when we moved there. But we've certainly seen some growth. And the community itself, when originally planned, was going to be 95,000 people. So the downtown is quite vast, which is part of the reason it hasn't developed as much. It hasn't got that synergy. That's starting to change. But more people wanted these custom lots and these bigger homes and these views, and they didn't want to chop down the ridges and bring everything down flat and have the grid system. That's how it's developed as such a beautiful community on larger lots. Yet there's something for everybody out there.
Sure. So let's talk a little bit about agent. You mentioned the importance of knowing your community. So why is that important to a real estate agent, and what value does that bring to your clients?
Good. I think, every agent can do a really good job, and we're fortunate in Fountain Hills and the surrounding areas to have some awesome real estate agents and brokers. I think what our clients enjoy is that added dimension of community that we bring, because we've been there for so long. I was the mayor of our town. Before that, I served on our Planning and Zoning Commission, and then after that as a council member, and then as mayor for a couple of terms. But just being there and being involved really brings that added dimension, I think, to our clients that we try to pass along. I definitely believe in community. I believe in enriching lives. It's not just about the house, although there's elements to that I'll talk about that are very important in the community of Fountain Hills. But if you can get engaged in the community, be a part of it, if you're a cyclist, get involved in that community, helping people get plugged in. It's not just about finding the greatest house and the greatest lot that's going to satisfy you. It's about your life, being enriched, being involved in things that make you part of something bigger than yourself. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. We have a lot of fun with our clients as well. There's a lot of fun things to do out there, mostly outdoor oriented, like cycling or hiking and that sort of thing. But I think that's an added element we bring. As far as the specifics to real estate, we've probably been in most every house before. My dad or mom or somebody has sold the land underneath that house, or so be it. But there's soil issues, as there is in the Southeast Valley. There's things you need to be aware of for your clients to best serve them. And then, of course, having great vendors that can take care of them once they're in or prior for inspections, mortgage, those types of things. Fountain Hills is unique. There's some properties out there that are called Geminis. You don't hear about them anywhere else, but they're uniquely put together in Fountain Hills. They require a special mortgage person that understands how they're put together, the horizontal regime and the zoning. So there's a lot of things that we can bring, that we do bring, and we enjoy bringing to our clients that I think is important. But I'm also here to support other agents. If they want to learn more about Fountain Hills, I'm always here as a resource for them as well.
So it seems like there's differences between, Fountain Hills is a unique community, and knowing the community kind of adds value to your customers. You can help them find, like you said, there's something for everybody in Fountain Hills. What are those things that, if a new agent, or I guess we'll talk first about, main drivers of your real estate business. What are those activities that you do daily, monthly, that help your real estate business from a advice perspective of like newer agents watching this that I'm not finding the success. What are those things that they can do to grow your business?
I think for each person, you got to know who you are. Mm-hmm. For me, I know I'm different than other people. I just got back from a trip through Wisconsin, visiting in Chicago, visiting clients.
Oh, wow.
I love that. I love staying in connection with them, helping them with their biggest financial investment likely in their lives, and making sure I'm aware of what they're looking for, their time in life, investment time. So, I'd love to get and visit all of them, especially in the summertime, get out of here and go visit them. But I really enjoyed that trip this summer through Wisconsin and Chicago. But that's my connections, this personal connection, and really wanted to take care of people even beyond the sale. And I think most of our other agents have strengths in other areas. And I think they can each deliver value based on how they're wired and what they specialize in. If they're financial gurus and have their MBA, and there's so many different ways to benefit our clients. We try to bring everything we can, but I know for myself personally, it's that connection that I make with them that I'm really committed to them.
And it sounds like from your background perspective, being active in the community, you mentioned a lot of different things. Like you were part of the zoning committee, and then you became mayor, which just kind of gets you in front of more people. You can, not that that's your role to sell real estate as your mayor. You have more responsibilities than that. But if somebody is interested, like want to be more involved in the community, what would you suggest? Because obviously you've gone from.
If they have that desire at whatever age, we have a lot of folks that'll, leave big careers and kind of partially retire, and they want to give back. I totally recommend they speak with me or other people in areas that they're interested in, be it I'm the assistant governor in Rotary, so I've been involved in Rotary, followed my dad's footsteps again there as well. That's all about service above self. And you do some networking because you're there with a bunch of men and women that are largely working just like you, and you develop relationships and become more comfortable that way, more organically, and then maybe you do business with one another. But you're really there to serve others, and we do a lot of that through Rotary. So that's a neat group, Kiwanis, Lions, other groups like that. Yes, it sounds good to go do those things, but it really benefits you greatly through that service, because a lot of folks don't do that service, and they don't know what they're missing. Once they do it, they realize what they're missing, and it again enriches their lives. Other things to do as far as the town: get on a board or a commission. Planning and zoning, parks and recreation. These are volunteer things, much as most are surprised. The mayor is as well. You get a $600.
You're not paid $600.
You get $600 a month in Fountain Hills, but it's largely a volunteer position. That $600 might help you to pay for some of the things you're expected to show up at that the town's not able to pay for. But it's about service, and it's about being part of your community. I mean, if you're on a commission that helps to, make things better in your community, I mean, that's pretty darn cool. Yeah. You're not paid, but you do get rewards because you're a part of this. There's so many ways to get involved, but I think that's one thing. And internet and Facebook and other things allow us to do some of these things kind of as quick hits, and that's great too. But that analog connection that you get in some of these other things, going to church, I mean, other things that just people aren't doing as much anymore, I would encourage people to do more of that, just so that they can stay in connection with their community, which is what I'm all about.
Sure. And now at this point, so you've been in real estate since '92. Yeah. At this point in your career, what are your focuses? Do you mostly just work with your sphere of influence? Are you helping other agents or bringing on? I know some people are growing teams or doing different things. What is the dynamic of?
I think we do a little bit of everything, but we did definitely focus on our past clients.
Sure.
Our past clients are still they're gold for us. So they used us for their business.
Do you have any clients that have been passed down from your parents' business prior? Really?
Oh yeah, they'll call me John, my dad's name.
Really?
I love it. Hey John. I don't correct them. I love to hear that. Dad passed away at 59 over 20 years ago, so it's still cool to hear that stuff. But absolutely. Yeah, thanks Dad. Thanks Mom. And Mom's still around. She did most of the property management for my dad's office and the offices he was a part of. And in fact, now the broker I'm with, my dad trained him.
Really?
Yeah. So our broker, Mike Neighbors, formerly Neighbors Realty, where my dad first hung his license in '78, I think it was, and my mother. Was trained by my dad, he'll say, and I said probably not in all the best stuff, but jokingly. But they had a lot of fun. Fountain Hills back in that day, they were mostly selling land and then selling land again, and it was really a different world then. And now it's more of a suburban area that have higher end homes, and although we do, like I mentioned, have something for everyone. We have $100,000 condos, and you have $5 million homes as well with incredible views, but. They're all within Fountain Hills, and Fountain Hills is not huge. It's about 5 miles by 5 miles, so you can walk to most everything, down to the world-famous fountain and the beautiful fountain park and the lake and all the shops there. It's just, we really are fortunate, and my dad and mom were a big part of helping me to succeed and get plugged into the community through following their example of service, Rotary, and other things. And then being elected as a council member was a huge thrill. I was, younger guy with younger kids, and my son Tim. I remember walking through the neighborhood, vote for my dad. He's a nice guy sign.
Oh, really?
That sort of thing. We had a lot of fun with it. It's a little different than I think maybe the political times right now that we're within.
Sure.
Not so positive. We had a lot of fun with that, and then following in my mentor Wally Nichols, Mayor Nichols' footsteps as mayor for 2 terms was just a blessing. Although it was through the recession, we had to eliminate staff, and those things were not a lot of fun. But serving your community, I mean, it's an honor without question, and I really enjoyed it. And it's similar in real estate. You got to honor your clients. You really have to take care of them. And I think the biggest challenge I hear from other agents is staying in touch, nurturing your past clients, and working on those referrals from them that would come ordinarily, but you need to make sure you're top of mind. So I think that's one of the things I would share is most people need to stay in touch with their past clients. As long as that's how they're wired. If they're just going after leads, that's a different element. People can succeed, obviously, doing that. But get involved in your community. That's what I would really encourage. And then for buyers and sellers, I think it's really important to work with somebody that knows your community really well. If you're a South Scottsdale guru agent, you're going to benefit your clients because you're aware of the new zoning stuff that's coming in, where a 15-story building is going to come here in South Scottsdale soon. You're aware of those things that are going on, which are certainly important to your buyers and sellers.
Wow, that's incredible. It's rare that I talk to an agent that is multi-generational. A long time, and that's such a cool story. Like how you're connected still through that, but great, important to know your community, stay in contact with past clients. I think that gets lost a lot or gets overlooked. But the more I talk to agents and people and their success, that is almost always a big piece of their success. I stay in contact, referrals from past clients, and I stay in contact with them. And
I'm not listing everything in Fountain Hills.
Right.
I'll see listings come up every day, and I'm wondering why the heck didn't they call me?
Right.
When you're the mayor of this town,
Jay,
for crying out loud, 90+% of the listings are not going to me.
Yeah.
This is crazy. So there's a lot of work to do there, more people to serve, at a high level. But I'll tell you, Lister Pros, getting to know you guys, part of my passion is to show off Fountain Hills. And the technology and platforms that you guys have brought that I became aware of just not too long ago, we jumped right in and bought a whole bunch of your services. So the drone, the walkthrough video, these things I just love. And one of the properties we have is back on the backside of Fountain Hills, you may have alluded to, and it backs up to the McDowell Mountain Regional Park at 21,000 acres. And you can't show that off without drones and video. It's got a koi pond. It's got all these cool elements, yet it backs up to this place where people love to cycle and bike and hike and do everything else outdoors, which is all such a part of Fountain Hills. But thanks to your technology, we're able to share that with more people in a better way.
Yeah, and Fountain Hills is probably one of our, and when I think of a highlight reel of some of our best property videos, Fountain Hills has definitely got some of them around the fountain, the views. It's a very unique community. We really love shooting it. And thanks.
We just did Goldfield Ranch, a property out there. There's only 4 houses for sale out there right now, but one of them we used you guys on for, again, drone and video walkthrough. but you guys captured somebody on like an ATV driving down the road. I mean, that's part of the. I mean, I didn't see a horse yet, but you'll get that next time. It's a big equestrian community, but there's so many unique things to Fountain Hills, Goldfield Ranch, the Rio Verde area, that is all about outdoors and beauty. That aesthetic that people just are blown away from because they don't even know about it. Like most people, we ask, "How did you find Fountain Hills?" Well, I just stumbled on it. Came over that hill on Shea Boulevard, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Didn't know this was just adjacent to
until you go up. Until you ride your bike up this. I think the road is called Golden something.
Golden Eagle, yeah.
Golden Eagle.
There
I'm
you
like,
go.
my goodness, it's like
that's a workout.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think I saw you there last week, didn't I? I was pedaling just ahead of you.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I was trying to not get dropped by you, right? Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining me today on Real Estate Pros, Jay. If somebody's interested in reaching out, how do people get a hold of you?
Obviously, our website, ArizonaLiving.com, all spelled out, ArizonaLiving.com.
How'd you get that one? You must have
I think I had that when I moved back to Fountain Hills in 1997.
Dude, that's a great
I think I got
name.
that one, yeah.
It's mostly
and maybe
long.
I'll do more with it someday.
Yeah, Arizona Living.
Arizona Living. That's a great way, but my cell phone, message me through Facebook. Cell phone 602-301-7855. JAY@ArizonaLiving.com is my email. So, and again, other agents that want to learn more about Fountain Hills, or if they've got somebody that they're working with in Fountain Hills, they just want some more information so that they can properly, share things. I'm open to speaking with agents in that respect as well. But yeah, we love Fountain Hills and the surrounding area. We're so fortunate to live out here. There's so many cool things in Arizona: Saguaro Lake, Verde River, the Four Peaks, skiing in the afternoon, and water skiing in the morning. Where else can you do these things? It's pretty darn incredible. We're blessed to be out here.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure, Jay. Thank
Jordan.
you so much for joining me today on Real Estate Pros, and we will see you guys on the next episode.